It's the Weather Xtreme video. This is for Friday the 20th, the morning edition. I'm James Spann, still looking at the potential of a messy, wintry mix over parts of North Alabama later today and tonight. Who gets what? Any impact? What about next week? There's so much to talk about, so let's go. As we typically do, we start with an overview of the weather across the nation with the water vapor satellite view and the contours at 500 millibars, about 18,000 feet off the ground. Big trough in the east, that brought the cold air down the pike, and indeed, it's cold this morning. Now, temperatures were actually colder late last night, but clouds have increased, and that blanket of clouds tends to push temperatures up a little bit. It's 19 for Coleman and Haleyville, Birmingham at 22. We'll ease up into the 30s later today, but it's going to be a slow process. It's pretty cold air mass in place. This is a look at the new watch warning map. The Weather Service in Birmingham issued a winter weather advisory for their northern and eastern counties, which matches nicely with the advisories for the other states. So now it looks good. The new advisory is down into Marion, Winston, Blount, St. Clair, Calhoun, and Cleburne. So we have Anniston and Gadsden now under a winter weather advisory. The winter storm warning is in effect for 3 counties up in northeast Alabama: Madison, Jackson, and DeKalb, and Tuscaloosa and Birmingham not in an advisory. Of course, we'll talk about this in detail as we go along here. Peak of temperatures around the nation. Boy, it's cold. Wow, just record shattered all over the place. The Great Lakes down into the deep south. This is a look at the chance of freezing rain accumulating greater than 1/100th of an inch from midday today until midday tomorrow, and you can see how there's a pretty tight gradient through North Alabama, but the really bigger numbers are along and north of US 278 for ice accumulation. But let's go in there and go look at the modeling. This is the GFS, the 06Z run today at noon, and the big trough is sweeping off the coast. And down below that, we think the morning will be dry. The precipitation should begin to creep into Alabama midday or early afternoon. And again, this will be in the form of some sleet and some snow. And remember, this air is bone dry. Dew points are like, 0 to 5. So it's going to be pretty light this afternoon. This is 6 o'clock this evening, and this is when we could see the highest impact of this event. The red line is the freeze line. That's where the surface temperatures are expected to be 32 or below. And remember, when the precipitation begins, numbers will drop. It might be, 36 degrees. You start to see this wintry mix and it drops down to 30. It can happen very easily. And the freeze line is depicted, again, from about Vernon over to Aniana and Pell City and Oxford. That matches up nicely with our forecast and the Weather Service advisories. And north of that, snow maybe over northeast Alabama. Then the orange is sleet around Huntsville, and the purple, that's freezing rain. Just a mess, and that is the main window for problems here late this afternoon and early tonight. Now, at midnight tonight, the GFS has relatively light precipitation, and it's got it mainly over North Alabama with the really heavy stuff over Tennessee. But remember, anything that's light and you still got temperatures below freezing, that's problematic, even freezing drizzle. But this has the freeze line pretty far to the north. The blue line is 35. The red line is 32. So hopefully any issues will be short-lived this far south, and the bigger issues shift up north. Not that we want that for them, but that's the way it looks. Tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock, there is still potential for freezing rain over Jackson, DeKalb, Cherokee counties over northeast Alabama. That's where we're going to have to watch. It'll be the battle between the warm air advection from the south and the wedge, the cold air damming from the east. But it is, models do not do a good job often with handling a transition to a different air mass over northeast Alabama. That's the reason we're concerned about Jackson, DeKalb, and probably Cherokee counties, and maybe even Etowah, Calhoun, and Cleburne. So we'll be watching carefully during the night. Now, this is tomorrow at noon. We have a pretty well-defined surface low north of here. The big snows are way north. The freezing rain issues onto the east. Now, if you have something planned outdoors tomorrow, if you're in South Alabama, it shouldn't rain much at all. And it's going to be noticeably warmer. In fact, our friends down in South Alabama could approach 70. Up this way, Birmingham could approach 60 during the day. But it's certainly not going to rain all day, and the better chance of rain should be along and north of Interstate 59. Now, this is Sunday morning at 6 o'clock, a cold front coming through. And we should mention there could be some thunderstorms Saturday night with a cold front. And now all of a sudden the GFS is depicting the chance of maybe a brief change over to freezing rain on the backside of this thing Sunday morning. We got the Mercedes Marathon Sunday morning in Birmingham. It looks wet and kind of cold. Sunday should be noticeably colder with a high dropping back to about 50. In fact, really the way it looks is that we will start the day Sunday in the low 50s early in the day, like around daybreak, and then fall slowly through the 40s during the day. But the better chance of rain Sunday should be during the morning. And again, we'll watch for any brief wintry precipitation Sunday morning. That should not be a big problem. And then Sunday at noon, it's kind of over. So if you got something planned, Sunday afternoon, it looks like it will be dry, but cloudy, breezy, kind of windy, in fact, and kind of chilly with the temperatures in the 40s. Now let's go to Monday of next week. Again, we have not seen a very consistent look here. But there's another wave coming along, and we're colder. Monday's going to be kind of a chilly day with a high perhaps only in the mid to upper 30s. And with that wave, look out for more winter weather mischief. We've got the potential of sleet there showing up for Jackson and Monroe and El Dorado and Longview and Tyler. This is Monday at 6 o'clock, and that mess kind of creeps in here, and it's another close call. This time from Birmingham south. This suggesting there could be some wintry weather issues. The red line is the freeze line, and the precipitation just near or below that. And again, there is no way we can resolve this issue now, but just be aware at some point Monday there could be another wintry mix issue. And then Tuesday, we're just cool and dry. Highs in the 40s, lows in the 20s. Wednesday, another wave comes along, and it looks like this would be mostly rain. And we'll probably start to insert that in the forecast. That wave is on by, and Thursday looks cool and dry. Here's a week from today, and you can see that much of the country still has below average heights, and down below that, again, that looks cool and dry with, I'd say, seasonal temperatures. Then the next issue comes in here. This is Saturday night, early Sunday morning around the 1st of March, that following weekend. A surface low in the Gulf, but this looks warm enough for just rain. And then on Sunday, the 2nd, trough hangs back over the west. That wave is on by and we're dry. But it's a very complex forecast over the next 10 days. Be ready for a lot of changes and interesting times. That's it for the Weather Xtreme video this morning. We'll have notes in the blog. Next video here by 4 o'clock today. If you can't catch us this evening on the live stream of the television site, ABC 3340 News at 4, 5, 6, and 10. Thanks for watching. Have a great day and God bless.